Okay, so another little teaching on Shabbat or the Sabbath. And I'd like to, we've already looked at the fact that Jesus was the fulfillment of the Sabbath. When he did the reading in the synagogue on Isaiah 61 and then sat down and said it's been fulfilled. So he became the fulfillment of the Sabbath. And we talked about creation when God rested on the Sabbath. And we've come close to 7,000 years since then. So let's just take another look. Because we want to look in daily life. We want to center on daily life before we look at the millennium. So Hebrews 4, 9, and 10 has always been a favorite of mine. It says, so there remains a Shabbat keeping for God's people, which means a Sabbath keeping, as we would normally address it. For the one who has entered God's rest has also rested from his own works, as God did from his. So therefore, let us do our best to enter that rest. So we talked about walking in the power of the Spirit, doing what Jesus did. But also we talked about the Sabbath rest. We talked about from Friday night to Saturday night, sundown to sundown, and the special ceremony that closed it up, and teaching from generation to generation, and house church and family time, and just a wonderful time of day set apart, because as Jesus said, it was established for mankind, not mankind for the Sabbath. So choosing to be united with Christ is eternity now. Somebody's saying, okay, in the future, but eternity is now, because we said yes to Jesus. His Spirit came, Father Spirit came through Jesus, became one with our spirit, so that we can be united with Jesus, and we can always be in rest no matter what happens around us. And I just had a lot of big things happen around me, and I know how to get into that place of rest. And Holy Spirit said, just rest today. But I want to look at resting from our own works and being united with Christ and doing his works with him, united with him. In other words, he does it in and through us. We're only surrendered little vessels. And with that comes that place of rest. So physically, I had a rest day, but I also had a rest in the Lord as far as praising and just spending time in his presence and just kind of soaking. So those days to me are very precious, but resting in the Lord, resting in the Spirit. Remember when Matthew 12, is it? Oh, no, it's 11. I always mix those two up, 11 and 12, but 11:28, and then the scriptures around it, it says, just come to me and I'll give you rest. So we have to be careful that the enemy does not snatch our rest. He doesn't snatch our peace. He doesn't snatch our joy. Then I want to give one more example of the, we all are aware of the millennium, and in the eyes of many Jewish people, this is a time of Sabbath rest of 1,000 years. It doesn't mean that we're not going to be busy and not going to be doing things, but this was saying that during this time that the Lord alone will be exalted. We won't have any more of our self left. We'll be so much a part of what he's doing that it will be wonderful. So Isaiah 11:2, which says 1,000 years are with 7. The Lord alone will be exalted on that day. And further, that's Isaiah 2:11. And then further, it's written in Psalm 92:1, a psalm and a song for the Sabbath day. So this is a time of rejoicing. So 1,000 years in the Lord's eye are just like a day. That says it in Psalm 90 verse 4, I think. So many religions, Jews and Christians, see the future a Sabbath of 1,000 years. So this would be a time of rest for humanity and considered the ultimate fulfillment of the Sabbath. But let's keep our Sabbath rest now, guys, and not be so stressed out and not be into our own works, but into the Lord's work of what he's doing in and through us. And you will have your peace, you will have your joy, and you will know that the Father loves you.